Hey guys, so we're in the process of removing a 26-foot plus load bearing wall, and we're in the process of we just installed the some end supports. We already set up the shoring walls, as you can see, both side with solid post. We basically put a stud under every single joist because we don't want any movement in the upper floors. And this is the best way to do it. Sometimes depends on what load you have to deal with. Sometimes you can basically skip some of the joists and put a double plate. But because it's carrying a heavy top floor, plus we have snow loads that we have to focus on also, and it's in the winter right now in this region. Currently, we have snow sitting on the roof as we speak. So we have to make sure that we have enough sufficient support underneath these joists before we start cutting it. Just a little detail about the installation process. So one end of this beam basically have to sit in the middle on top of the front door. So we build two stud pack with three jacks and one king on each side of the door jamb. So on top of this front door, basically, we install a small steel beam across to carry the weight of this 26-foot beam. And up in the middle, we also have a steel post. And at the other end bearing at the back of the building, we have another steel post. We have two options how to connect the beam to these posts, and we could use some bolts, but we're more comfortable welded the steel beam on top of the post. It's more secure and it's more solid connection. Down by the front door, that beam across, we also gonna be welding the end bearing on top of the front door on top of that cross steel beam that we have sitting there. So below the main floor in the basement, the beam that was supporting this load bearing wall, it wasn't in the exact line over the steel beam below. So what we had to do, we had to install another steel beam below this floor. Basically, run it across from that steel beam over a column with a sufficient footing underneath. This beam run across over onto the foundation wall. And as I was saying, because it's not in the same line as this, where the steel beam up that we're installing gonna be, that cross beam that we installed downstairs, the post in the middle gonna be sitting on that steel beam, which, as I was saying, it's installed in column downstairs to across to the foundation wall, and it's sitting on a good solid wide footing. So in this process, we have three steel beam that we installed to support this one long steel beam. So first down the basement, where the middle post sitting on, and then at the front door, which I was saying, one end of this long beam gonna be sitting on top of this cross beam above the front door. So it's an interesting process, and it took us some back and forth to basically get this plan in place. However, it's more than sufficient support for this massive beam. At this point, we almost at the end of cutting out all the joist opening to install this beam. Thank you guys for tuning in. It's been great